The North Carolina General Assembly, it's back in session with lawmakers from all across our state in Raleigh to begin their work for the next few months.
We don't know exactly what's on the agenda of each of the politicians, but there's a pretty good idea, and it could be a renewed effort for legislation lawmakers have been waiting years to make happen.
We're going to dig into what those issues are, starting with what the state's top Republican Congress members have to say. Wednesday, January 11th, it marks the opening session for North Carolina lawmakers in the new year. House Speaker Tim Moore and Senator Phil Berger say as business gets underway, working to adopt the state budget is priority, with plans to follow a formula that's proven successful in years past.
Keep a good control on the growth of spending at the state level. We're going to do whatever we can to reduce the tax and regulatory burden on individuals and businesses in North Carolina, and we're probably going to sock a little money away for a rainy day.
Lawmakers say a majority of the state's money will go towards improving transportation, with investments in widening I-85 and I-77, along with creating more infrastructure and affordable housing all across the state.
And we do all we can to make sure that the urban cores continue to grow, but that we also don't leave behind the rural parts of North Carolina.
Online sports betting is another shared interest between the State House and the Senate that could finally become a reality in the Tar Heel State this year.
It is something that I believe has the support of a majority of both chambers. It is something that I think the public overall supports. It is something that if you have a telephone, you already have access to it.
Yet the discussion of Medicaid expansion is where some differences arise. Both chambers agree money from the 90-10 federal match is a plus, but the issue is more than just money. It's also about capacity.
One of the things that we're going to want to have a conversation on when we, not just on Medicaid, but really overall, is increasing access to behavioral health care.
UNCG political science professor Tom Little says there are other issues that could come up during this legislative session, too. Abortion.
I don't think the Republicans will view this as a mandate to go do, say, the heartbeat bill, abortion, a very restrictive. I suspect there'll be a proposal put forth, maybe limited restrictions after the first trimester. I can't see this Republican caucus proposing a total ban on abortion or even a heartbeat bill, just given the nature. And if they do, it's going to be vetoed, and I don't think there would be votes to override it.
Voter ID.
And I suspect there are a couple of moderate Democrats who say, this is probably not necessarily a bad idea. But it's interesting, Republicans keep talking about that having voter ID will help them, but Republicans did okay without it. So I'm not sure if it's that big a deal to them now.
And tax cuts.
If the budget continues where it is, that we have a surplus, there's going to be talk of tax cuts. So it's going to come down to a question of tax cuts versus more spending in areas of policy that were shorted in a few recent years. Education would be the one that everybody would run to. So I think we're going to see that battle play out a little bit.
At the end of the day, though, we probably won't see any lawmakers really rocking the boat out there.
So we are a purple state, maybe a little bit leaning, maybe a little more red than purple, but it's not a state that's far out. And if the Republicans or the Democrats get too far to their extremes, they're going to hurt themselves in the election. So I think that they're aware of that.